Together, the podcast where we
Your favorite married couple.
dive into the world of TV shows one episode at a time. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Laura, and each week we watch and dissect everything from drama to comedy, sci fi to reality TV.
Whether we're loving a show
Hating it,
or just somewhere in between,
we bring our honest, no holds barred opinions.
and of course, some laughs along the way.
So grab your popcorn
Get cozy,
and join us as we break down our favorite binge worthy shows.
one review at a time. Let's get started. Well, hello, Laura. Long time no see.
Hello, Jacob. It feels like just a few seconds ago.
It doesn't it? Does it not? Well, we get an exciting episode today of you correcting me because I will constantly say elf, but it's ALF we are watching today.
Alf. Alf with an A.
ALF with an A, but elf. It works.
Either
It
one.
works. The original elf. The absolute original elf. We are focusing on this is episode season 1, episode 8, I believe we were watching. And
I
it's
think
called
so.
Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. Sounds like a very
Which makes no
depressing.
sense. Yeah, I mean, I get that it's a song, but I don't see how it reflected in this episode at all. But we'll wait. We'll get into it.
Okay, here's a real question for you. We have to start the episode this way. As a child, so this came out in 1986, meaning we were 5, 4.
Four. Yeah.
Did you watch Elf anytime as a kid? Ow.
Yes. I wrote down as my fun fact that when I found out about Desert Storm, it was because they interrupted me watching Alf. I remember that very vividly.
Now, just a little bit I know about you. I could just imagine the chaos that ensued. I don't know how unhappy you were that your show is now being interrupted.
Yes, I was very upset. But to put it in context, my dad had just retired from the military not that long ago, so I was a little concerned about that, but also more concerned that it interrupted Alf. So
I can understand. Alf was a big show in my home. We very much loved Alf, and it was a regular of ours to watch because back then, if this ran to I think 91 or 92, it had 4 seasons. But what's that?
Not a lot.
It was not a lot for this type of show, but we watched it quite a bit, and there was always reruns. We could always get access to it. So I went into this. So just for our many, many listeners and followers, because we know we have thousands at this point.
Yes,
millions. So our goal is, even if we like a show, we scour the traverses of the internet to see what are some of the ranked worst episodes within that show. And that's what we bring to you tonight, as this was ranked number 2 as the second worst episode of ALF on it.
By who? We don't know. So if you create a website and just put like what you think is the worst episodes, we might see it and think it's bad as well. So that's how you can participate.
We might. That's true. You can definitely leave a suggestion of if you think we're right or wrong and what we need to do differently with that episode. Now, me and Alf,
looking at you, right. TD.
Me and Alf share something somewhat in common.
Is it your weird, largely big nose?
Not quite where I was going with there. Okay.
Didn't want to say.
Now I feel subconscious, and yes, I do have a face for radio, okay? Not a face for YouTube.
Jacob, totally off topic. I think we have similar looking noses. Like when I'm looking in the screen here, it looks like our noses are pretty much the same.
They're pretty close.
But we are married, not related.
That is very accurate.
As far as we've researched, there's no relation.
Well, this episode took a turn. But me and Alf share something in common to a degree.
You want to eat cats.
I don't want to eat cats. We both love cats, but for very different reasons.
Okay.
Very different reasons.
Go on. What could these?
Enjoys trying to eat the cats.
Yes.
I love the cats. I don't want to eat the
Yes.
cats.
No.
So,
No. Okay. What could it be, Jacob?
what?
We're in suspense. What you have in common with Alf?
That was it.
Was
Our love of
it?
cats. Yeah.
Oh, but
This is the
sorry,
this is
guys.
a great part of marriage. Like you've been together so long, the jokes still just go right over your wife's head. Like, who?
If that was a joke, I was like, okay, fact, yeah, okay, you like cats for different reasons, I
That's
guess.
right.
Yes.
That's the facts.
All right. Well,
This
there we go.
particular episode, and I can see why some people will probably rank it as maybe not the greatest episode of Alf, is he starts taking on what might one say love interest. Love interest.
Yes, it was
And
very disturbing.
that love interest happens to be the teenage daughter of the home. Now, here's the question.
Yeah,
Do we know Alf's age?
like a middle-aged man, but I don't know if it is canon how old Alf is.
And we
We need
had
Brad.
this.
Brad's an Alf expert.
Brad is the Alf expert. We also were in a discussion with this before we dive real deep into this episode. Is Alf a puppet, or does a
Little person
little person
wear a costume.
wear a costume, or is it both?
I think it's both, but I think mostly when we see him, it is a puppet, a Muppet,
Okay.
a puppet. But I think in that one scene in the intro where he's walking,
And
it's
running.
a little person, obviously in a costume,
Sure. Okay.
a puppet. But viewers, if you know, let us know. Listeners.
So this episode starts out at the apparently Alf and the teenage daughter had a date set up, as in she was supposed to help him decorate his room.
Which isn't a date. I don't know what Alf thought. That's the worst date I've ever been. What is your worst date?
Oh, there's so many.
And not decorating someone's room?
There was this one date when I met this girl at Sears and we went to Cold Stone, and I was trying to be impressive and my card didn't work, and that person had to pay after I was making fun of said person for those.
Now, as I recall, I was on that date and I did not think it was a date. I thought we went for ice cream after work. So there we go. I think my worst was I had kissed a person and he showed up at my school a day later and picked me up and asked me if I wanted to go to a concert. And I thought he meant like a concert, but he meant like his band concert. And he played saxophone. So it was just me at a school I didn't go to, sitting in the audience with this guy I barely knew on stage playing the saxophone.
So
thankfully,
he went Kenny G on you.
Yeah, pretty much. But thankfully, I knew some guys at the school. They were playing percussion and could leave the stage and come sit with me and apologized for this incident.
This deal.
So,
Gotcha. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Worst date. Not decorating his room. That could have been better, but
That's true. But we also got to understand Alf is not allowed to leave anywhere because no one knows about Alf except for this family. So his dating options are limited. But
yes, that is true.
He gets a little upset because she now has this gentleman who is knocking at the door and wanting to take her out on a date. Actually, he just wants to use her garage to store all of his rock and roll equipment and his band equipment. However, it's
a pity date.
A pity date. I do love in this episode every time Alf is frustrated, his goes, I see. That's like the whole I see.
It's Alf's go-to annoyed phrase.
So when Alf is upset when he's like, I see.
Yes.
So she's trying to get her dad's permission to store this young man's band equipment in the garage. And the dad's really not answering or paying attention, which was funny to me. Because he's like, I didn't understand anything you said. What? Tell me again. I mean,
he was he was really concerned with making tea for himself and Alf. He was just really like sugar, milking, like everything. He was really into his tea service. Willie, his dad's name.
Willie, yes, because that becomes pretty hilarious later here in the episode. And she's also asking the mother to borrow the pink sweatshirt and
sweater.
Sweatshirt, sweater. And she's like, well, your dad hasn't even answered yet. So they get the answer. The boy comes over. Now, to me, what's funny is Alf keeps popping up at the window, like gagging at the boy, like shaking his head no. He's like, do you want to go out with me Friday? He's like, no.
And she makes big reactions. Like, she could have just pretended Alf wasn't there. But no, instead she's like, no, Alf, no. Like, girl, calm down.
I did love how she was like waving her hands, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Locust. There's locust in here." It was like,
yeah, like locusts are big. She couldn't say mosquito, something small. She like mentioned a large flying insect. Like, okay,
locust, like biblical times, locusts are coming to invade her garage in this band equipment.
Yeah, bizarre.
It was bizarre. And then, so Alf goes to the mother. Who, by the way, her haircut is weird.
Well, it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. But
it was the 80s.
Would you rock a haircut like that? Would you today, right now, go get that type of haircut?
No, but I have very flat, thin hair. I have a lot of hair, but it's thin and fine. So I couldn't imagine having voluptuously curl.
But her hair wasn't curly. It's like short on top and kind of like spread out. So it's just cut way down on top and then very long in the back. I think this is an opportunity to try it out.
So like the reverse Karen haircut where it's like long and then short. She has the short and then long. A la Kenny G. I don't know. Not Kenny G.
I think this is an opportunity you may have to look at.
I don't think so, but thank you very much. I will not be rocking the Kate. I will not be rocking the Kate from ALF. Could you imagine I go to a hairdresser and I'm like, this is what I'd like to look at. She's like, the alien? I'm like, no.
You have a screenshot of, is it her name's Kate, right? You have a screenshot of Kate on the show. It's like, this is what I want to look like. But then you're set up for an ALF convention.
Yeah, maybe.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to rethink our couple costume for Halloween. Maybe we could be the ALF family.
Willie in a robe.
Yep. Brad can be the little boy. No, he'll be the little boy. The brother. I'll be Kate. And then Kristen can be the daughter.
There you go. Who's good? Max is ALF.
Max is ALF. Yeah, I think we found it, Brad.
This is perfect. I think we got it.
If he doesn't want to play, he could be the cat, and we can use Brad's stuffed Alf.
We could, but I think we got this planned out.
This could be the cat. So love it.
So at this point now, Alf goes to Kate. Well, first, okay, we're missing a big point here, which was he's using the sun now. Alf is using the sun to decorate his room by putting pasting paper on screens.
No, it's his bedroom and he's hiding and he's in a screened room.
Exactly.
Like none of this made sense. Like I guess the 80s was big for like hidden people living in your home, like Small Wonder. She slept in a closet.
Yes.
Like Alf is like out in the open, like hanging out, walking around in the garage. Like he doesn't care. Nobody cares.
He's out in the yard, just chilling.
Chilling. He's probably watering the grass, getting a tan. Like they're putting Alf to work.
So Kate is not down with having her screens wallpapered, basically, and has them tear it all down. And then Alf proceeds to then ask for relationship advice from Kate, and because he has a love interest in the lucky lady, and she's, as one must do, is ask further questions about who is this lucky lady. Seeming Alf never leaves this house.
No.
And who was the celebrity crush that Alf had that she asked? I'm blanking on it because she was like, "Oh, is it you're writing letters again to
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but it's to some celebrity. He's like, no, it's in the house. Which Kate then, weirdly enough, then immediately is like super flattered and happy because now she thinks it's her. That Alpha has a love interest for her.
Kate is married, assumably happily.
To Willie, right? To Willie.
Yes, and she's encouraging Alf to like write a love poem to her.
To her, yes.
Strange.
Very strange. Very strange. So she gives him some advice. So Alf, as one man does to win the love of his life, starts developing this poem and starts reciting some to her to where he's like, men are from Venus because they, and then she cuts him off because you can't say the rest of that on TV. But then he's like, you know what's even better? We are going to turn this into a rock song. We're going to make music.
So have you ever written a poem or a love song for a lady, Jacob?
I have. I've actually shared this on our other podcast of Movie Torture that I am on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't listen.
That's fine. And in high school, I thought I was the big cheese, the Mac Daddy, as one might say, because I would woo all the girls with poems. However, what they didn't know is at home, I had 2 big giant books of poems that I would just search through these books, like, oh, that's a good poem. And I would write by the poem who I wrote this to, so I would never resend the poem to the same girl again. And then I would copy the poem, and they'd be like, this is the best poem I've ever heard. I'm like, yeah, it is. And then they would like, I want another poem. I'm like, well, you got to give me a day to think about it. I really want to make sure I make it good, which was my work. Terrible. I need to go home and flip through this book to find a new poem.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I never wrote a poem for someone, but like poetry contests were always like in the newspaper and whatnot. And in 7th or 8th grade, I submitted a poem to the National Library of Poetry.
Okay.
And, you know, of course, they tell you that they're going to publish you if you buy like their book for like $150 or what have you. Sure. But I did get a certificate saying that my poem deserved recognition.
If you paid them $150.
No. Because I submitted a poem. A couple of years later, I submitted another poem and never got a certificate. So maybe they like knew there was no money there coming from my household. But yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
I wrote it about someone, but it was not about a love interest.
Well, that's impressive.
Oh, thank you. I am a poet.
So we now enter this phase of we're getting this awesome. Well, first, ALF, being from a planet with great technology and advancements, does not know how to push the on button to turn on the keyboard. Number one,
he calls it a piano, which I thought was strange too. He called it a piano.
ALF. And then Willie decides to turn it on for him, and then serenade him with his music as the whole time Alf is sitting behind him again, gagging, doing the choke symbol because he's not a fan. Alf was a very unapologetic person about how he felt about your talents.
Yeah, Alf told it as it was. He was the Simon Cowell of his day. He was saying no ticket to Hollywood to Willie.
You could appreciate it. Like,
I certainly did.
I like the truth.
Yes.
So then we are blessed, and I will say blessed, with the rock concert of our life.
You're skipping ahead.
What?
Well, I mean, he sings a little. Well, no, Alf doesn't sing at all. We don't see the music video till the very end of the episode.
Okay, yes. So so the girl comes home from hanging out with the guy, and they're about to have their first kiss until Elf is like, no, we ain't having that, and starts acting like the dad, screaming through the door, insulting the kid, and she's like, no, that's not about you. He's watching a movie, and then so now he starts using Scott's name, and he's like, Scott, get out of here. So they leave. Everybody comes out, and I love this line when Alf is like, "Whoa, Willie, your robe. Close your robe." Like he's wearing full pajamas.
She was in a bathrobe, and Alf was not having it. Like if you were blind listening to this, you would think different things were happening.
But yeah, he was fully in the full pajamas. Whoa, Willie, close your robe.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, Alf was really mean to this poor kid who just wanted to give this girl that he's been using a kiss, which, that's too bad.
It's true. And then this is where kind of all things fumble with the family because Alf starts sharing with Willie and Kate and the daughter of this love interest, which Kate at this point still thinks it's about her, and even more excited because he's like, I made this rock video and I'm and I spent a lot of time on it. It's gonna be great. And then Kate's like, okay, guys, it was for me. He has it, and which Willie seemed okay with, which is oddly weird. He was not upset about that
No.
until he was like,
No.
no, it's not you, Kate. It's the daughter. And what does Kate hit him with? I
I can't
see.
remember. Oh,
I
oh
see.
yes. Yes.
uh,
Yes. But then my favorite part happened. Well, one of my favorite parts happened when Willie is like, there's someone here who likes you, Kate, and has feelings for you. Alf wasn't in the room at the time.
he's
And
not.
no, because this happened before because Kate was explaining to Willie, like, hey, I think Alf has a thing for me. And he's like laughing about it. And he's like, well, there is someone here who cares about you, Kate. And then they keep talking, and then Willie goes in for a kiss, and then my favorite line comes up where Alf comes in. He goes, "Go for it, Willie! Yeah!" It's like, whoa, whoa! I would not want Alf as a viewer of my activities. Like, I don't
He
think
Alf was very
no,
eager. Alf was very
very,
eager.
very loud,
Come on,
very
Willie.
loud. Yes,
You got
but
this.
yes. Yes, and then eventually him and the daughter wants. Well, the dad's kind of lecturing Alf about having a thing for his daughter, which rightfully so. Would you
Yes.
let a middle-aged alien who's living with you have a crush on your daughter without laying down the hammer?
No. I mean,
Absolutely not.
the hammer had to be laid. But then he did call him out about his rope again as he was leaving because the daughter now wants to talk with Alf and basically put him in the friend zone, um,
Yeah.
which was weird.
Yeah. Didn't she say that they could be special friends, which I thought was
That
also
was weird. That was weird. Yeah, she how she worded it was very strange because when you put someone in the friend zone, you're just like, we're good friends. But she's like, I do love you as in a relationship, which I'm like, is that not what is that really? And then was like, yes, we're special friends.
It's like Alf is a house guest with benefits of being her friend. I don't know what she gets from it other than a pretty rockin' video, but
So now she wants to see the video. Alf is fighting. He's like, no, you don't deserve this video. I don't want to show you this video. But eventually, she gets to watch this video. Then we are blessed with this magic episode of this video, and it was magical.
this was a very, very well done video. To the point where I found it unbelievable. On this one, he was playing every instrument. It seemed like he was emulating different rock characters of the 80s. So like he was like dressed like Elton John on the piano. On lead guitar, he kind of looked like Dee Schneider, I thought, is kind of who he
Yes,
was vibing
yeah,
with. He did a Kenny G
yep.
saxophone riff at the end. I can't remember
We
all the people
had
he was channeling.
we had some
Oh,
ZZ Top. ZZ
uh,
Top was in there.
Stevie Wonder on the
Stevie
pianos,
Wonder.
on the
Yep.
piano, on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a very good song. I can't remember the lyrics, but it was
It
spectacular.
was
Do you remember?
Sweet Baby, You're Out of This World. And
Yeah.
and
You're
talking about
the one who's out of this world. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would that young high school Laura and some gentleman caller came and said, I made a song for you, a special song for you. And he starts singing about you're sweet baby, you're out of this world, and you're out of this world, and I'm in a galaxy in a world because you're out of this world. Is he winning?
So well, I'm not a good example. So the reason why I say that is because I grew up in a culture where you said yes to people. If someone was brave enough to ask you out or to ask you to dance, even if you didn't want to, you were supposed to say yes because that was the nice thing to do. Now, Jacob, take a guess. Do you think I did that?
No,
Absolutely not. Someone asked
no,
me
I
to
don't.
dance. I didn't want to dance with them. I said, no, no, thank you. I would rather stand here and watch people dance than dance with you. Um, so, yeah. So, would I have appreciated a song like that? Maybe.
I'm going with
May-
no. I'm saying no.
Maybe. It depends on who it was. I think I was ahead of the game where if he was creepy, it was a no, and if he was cute, it was a yes. But I was a modern girl in the Salt Lake Valley of Utah, saying yes to people I wanted to say yes to and no to people I didn't want to, and it worked out just okay. But I probably would have fell for it. I probably would have.
I mean, it's a nice gesture. They put in the effort. They meant well. They're showing interest. You kind of
But if it was a middle-aged alien, no, it'd be a hard no. My
I
dad
would
wouldn't
just
have allowed
be
that.
I'd just be perplexed at the point that an alien is speaking with me. That's a whole different subject. That just
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We must have. They've gotten over that by episode 9. The
Eight. Yeah.
novelty of Elf. Yeah.
They're 8 episodes in. Elf is just normalized at this point.
So based on this music video, Jacob, if you had to produce a music video, would you hire Alf?
Oh yes, 100%. I would
His
hire him right now to
this
produce
world.
everything I do.
Yeah. Yeah. We need Alf right now helping us.
We do. Hired. He's hired.
It was incredible. I mean, listeners, like, go Google this. Alf,
Just a
you're the
music
one who's
video.
out of this world. Fantastic. Fantastic.
It
I
was
can't
fantastic.
imagine anyone saying that was a bad episode of Alf. Like, it wasn't great. There was no, like, B storyline, but, like,
It was
that music
the
video was
music video
pretty
made everything.
epic.
It was.
Yeah.
It
It was
made
out
everything.
of this world.
It was out of this world.
It was.
So we have to ask the most pivotal question. It's time for the
Yep.
pivotal question. Dun dun dun. What do you feel about this intro to Alf? The intro to Alf. The
The
theme
theme
song,
song?
the intro, all of it.
The theme song I gave a 6.5. It's jazzy, but as I've said before, I like a theme song that like tells a story, is like fun to sing along to, not just like do 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 do. I like no. I'm not. No,
I'm
it's
giving it-
jazzy.
I'm giving it an 8. It's a very 80s vibe and just very upbeaty. But I think you're onto something there. Like it also has to go with what's happening with the song, right? Because
Right.
it's funny watching Elf run around with this camcorder, shoving in everybody's face, being everybody's business, and then
Yeah.
him ending chasing down the cat. Like that's
Right.
iconic. So with that being in there, an 8.
Yeah, I learned nothing about Alf from that theme song, which I think good theme songs tell you a little story. They're not just a jazzy riff. But I will say, all of the shows that you have picked do not have a theme song, so to speak, a song, and it's
song
just
with
the
it.
theme music.
Well,
Night Court, Alf. What will break the trend?
but here's my thing. I think we're onto something here, real quick. That
Yeah.
because I picked these songs or these things that don't have words to them, they're more iconic because you have to then be able to capture the whole episode and show based upon just the theme of music. More powerful. I
So
don't
have you
need my
ever-
shows do not need words to
need-
sell it.
Did you ever make up your own lyrics to a theme song? Like, I'm at court, do, 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 do. I'm at court, do, do, do.
No.
Like, for Night Court, no?
No,
Or like,
no.
my name is Alf, I'm an alien from Melmac. No?
I have not.
Okay.
have not.
That's what I would do as a child. I made songs
Okay.
up about everything. So I love songs. I like to sing and teach through song, and songs I think are powerful. Maybe it's because my brother's deaf and he can't hear. And so so I think it's just for me. I don't know. But
Very nice.
yeah.
And our final question: do you think ALF could be remade today and be successful?
Yes. What do you think? I think yeah.
I think yeah. I think it would be a great show. Modernize it, make it, bring it up to the ALF. What would be great is maybe not remake the actual show, but bring ALF back as now in like 2025.
So
And
it's still the puppet slash little person in a costume.
absolutely, absolutely.
So here's my thought. My thought is that Alf comes, but instead he has like a YouTube channel or like TikTok or whatever, and people are
Absolutely.
trying to find him. Like that's the thing is he's trying to like hide from his
And
fans.
eventually he gets canceled for trying to eat cats.
Well, by the dog loving population. In general. But yeah, I think Alf could be, an influencer in his way.
He could be.
Alf was on Impractical Jokers.
He was.
So I know that they said that was a highlight.
It was.
Was Alf being on the show, which I get. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
So there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our rendition of ALF and our section of ALF. Great show. It was a great watch. We enjoyed watching this one together.
I think we did. It was fun.
And the music video. If you have not seen it, need to YouTube the old music video, or you can find it on Tubi, where all the seasons are free and available to watch.
Yeah.
As always, from myself, Jacob, and Laura, this has been another episode of Tortured TV Together. We wish you a good night.
Bye.